What are we going to do today, Remy? I messed up. Look, I messed up, buddy. Stay. Sit. Good boy. You stay right there. Well, I was fixing a hand plane, restoring a hand plane for a buddy of mine. And while I was taping the frog off to get it ready for paint, tape stuck to my finger and part fell to the ground and I broke it. So I can't finish this project for this week. So we got to come up with another project, don't we? Hey, why don't you look at the camera? Look at the camera. There you go, buddy. Look at the camera. Do you want down? You want down? You want to go chase the cat? Okay, come here. Come here. Come on. Jump. Go. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Come on, buddy. You're just a little chicken. You're just a little chicken, aren't you? Oh, okay. You can get down. Go. So I got to come up with a different project for this week. Something quick and easy. I know. I just got something from my dad, and we'll do that. We're going to do a Military Monday. Stealing that from Jesse McJames, a buddy of mine. I got a few things from my dad when he passed, and we'll do a twofer today. First one is this military mess kit knife. Blade measures right at the cutting length is about 3.5. Overall, 6 1/4. According to my buddy Jesse, this is probably a newer knife because there's no markings on the back side of it. I think it's very cool. My dad sharpened it really well. It's very sharp. For a mess kit knife, I mean, probably sharper than it needs to be. But that was my dad. He kept everything as sharp as possible. Secondly, and this is what I'm very excited about. Let's go ahead and move that out of the way. That's just kind of cool. Nice to have. My dad had it. I'll probably take it camping or use it around the house. Just something really cool to have of my father's. I'm going to insert some pictures. This is what this knife looked like when I got it. It was covered in tape. The scabbard was also covered in tape. From what I'm guessing is probably winter camouflage, but it left a residue on everything. I reached out to my buddy, the alien outlaw, Jesse McJames, and he told me that he thought this knife was probably a Type D military survival knife. He and I discussed what to do to clean it up, and he said to use mineral oil on it. It was going to take me a very long time, and that the best course of action, the rule of thumb for dealing with military history, is preservation, not restoration. So that's the route that I took. Let's take a look at what it looks like now. The scabbard cleaned up really nicely. It had a lot of residue, tape residue on it. The blade itself cleaned up nicely. The handles, I got all the residue off of it. Turned out really nice. See if I can get a picture of lighting. See if I can get a good picture of the stamp. Hopefully that's coming in. And that stamp tells us everything that we need to know about this knife. It is indeed a British Type D military survival knife. The 82 indicates that it was made in 1982. This H with a diamond around it indicates that Hopkins is the manufacturer, and Hopkins manufactured the Type D up until 1988 when they were bought out by J. Adams, who is still making the Type D to this day. Let's take a look at this knife a little closer. I think the wood turned out fantastic. It took forever with just using mineral spirits and a rag to get all of the tape residue off. Whoever had this knife carved their initials into it. It says CO, and it's very faint here on the blade. I don't know if you can see the CO there as well, but they carved their name into that as well. You could tell, it was kind of funny. I told him, I said, this is the only damage I really see. He said, that's not damage, that's character. True, it's history and character. Probably somebody used this for batoning. I remember my dad using this at least once at a scout camp for processing firewood and things of that nature. So there's no telling what this knife has been through while it was in my father's hands. But speculation is that this Type D most likely saw action in the Falkland War and may have actually been issued to an RAF helicopter crew. Don't know that for sure. We can only speculate. But the diamond, excuse me, the diamond normally indicates that it was part of a special forces unit, most likely the RAF. Now, I have a buddy of mine. So let me back up a second. Jesse McJames reached out to his buddy, Mike, at Baldy's Blades in the UK. Now, apparently, Baldy also has a 1982 Type D military survival knife, and that's how we identified this before Jesse and myself and who else may have helped, including Mike, try to figure out history on this knife. Again, I can say that speculation about the helicopter crew and the RAF is just that, speculation, but it's most likely that this knife probably saw action in the Falkland War. What I did to clean this up was strictly mineral oil. It took forever, but I think it turned out absolutely beautiful. And after I used mineral oil on it, I took and hydrated the leather with neat's foot oil to help preserve the scabbard. Almost forgot to take a better look at the overall size and dimensions of this knife. So from tip, I guess they're calling the blade all the way to the hilt, but I'm going to measure sharp edge, which is, relatively hard to do because of the curve. So overall, the blade to the hilt to the tip is just over 7 inches, just shy of 7¼ inches. And the cutting surface looks like it measures just at 7 inches when you incorporate the point, the curve in the point. And excuse me because I don't know all the terminology about knives. I just think they're cool, and I think this is something really nice to have in my collection because, like I said, it once belonged to my father. Now, the edge on it could be touched up, but going with preservation, not restoration, I haven't touched it. And if y'all know me, that was extremely hard for me to do, not to touch this blade up. I could feel a few nicks in it. But like I said, my dad always kept things sharp. See, it could use a little help, but it's not bad. And I'm not going to touch it. Oh my gosh, that's going to be hard for me to do, but I'm not going to touch it because I take what Jesse said to heart, that I need to leave it alone. But I think it's good. Could be touched up, but is what it is. So, Remy, what'd you think about that Military Monday, huh? Yeah? You like what Dad left me? Hey. Well, hopefully y'all found this interesting. I know Remy could care less. He just wants down. We really need to work on your behavioral skills, okay? Bark at people and cuss at them all the time for no reason, and you just want to do your own thing. Just like a dog. Come here, buddy. Come on, jump. Oh, yeah. Yeah, good boy. All right, go. So the mess kit knife, I think it's very cool, and I will use it because it's just something cool to have in the in my possession. I'll use it for, you know, dinner and steaks and whatnot. I probably will never look for an entire collection. I hear that they're hard to find a complete mess kit. And I'm not really into that type of collecting, but this is something very cool to have. And the Type D, this thing turned out so nice. I am so glad to have it. I really wish that y'all could feel the heft of this knife. I probably should have waited to tell y'all what it weighs. This thing is remarkably heavy for its size. I mean, it's, man, just crack some skulls or something with it. This thing is massive. It's just beefy. I didn't measure the spine, but you know what? I'll throw up some measurements. I'll take them and throw up some measurements. But this thing just turned out phenomenal. It cleaned up really well. And I think it's a really cool piece of history to have. I wish I knew the story behind it and how my dad came across it. May have been something that he traded for. My brother thought that he might have traded for it, that my brother traded for it when he was in Afghanistan, but he didn't remember ever trading for something like this. So we do believe that it was in my father's collection, and we don't know how he came across it. Now, I know a good friend of mine who is part or was part of the RAF in the British military. And Vincent, hopefully you see this. If you have anything to add to this video, if you know any more history on this knife and the speculation of it being part of a unit of the RAF who might have used it, please chime in. It'd be interesting to know your thoughts on it. Well, I truly appreciate all of y'all checking out this video. I know it's a little bit different. Kind of cool to do it. I enjoyed cleaning this up and making it, doing the preservation on it. Hopefully y'all enjoy it too. Y'all have a wonderful day. And until next time, get out there, save something from being forgotten, and live a big life. Probably need to stop saying that. It sounds kind of goofy.